Safik, he got his way through. And that's what the Egel was. And therefore, when we have the Parah Aduma, said HaKadosh Baruch Hu the same way. I'm going to give it to you, and no. This Parah, I'm not telling you any time. Don't fall in again by this Satan. Don't let him ask you a thing. He wants to do the same thing he did by the Egel. Be strong and hold yourselves, and don't let you go in. When we know this point of the Satan, and we know the point of the Poilish Ganav, we see how he works every time and again, we know that's the way. With this Parah Aduma, we'll be having a reminder how to fight Amalek again, and not let him come us into us. That's why Parah has to be right after Amalek, to show that's a continuation, to show us. Don't be shvach and don't fall in. Amalek, the Satan wants to get you every time. That's why he got you by the Egel. That's why he wants to get you even after you have the Parah Aduma. Don't give in to him. Whenever you feel shvach, you know you're strong. From your strongness, from your fighting me, we know that's how I'm gonna fight you the same way. And that's why we find that the Magen Avraham asks in Halacha already, why do we find that Zechiras Amalek we say but in the Torah? We say we have not mitzvah of Pasha Zohar to say. Parah Aduma we remember, we say, but it's not a mitzvah Zechira. We have six Zechiras in the Torah. Shabbos, which we read in the Torah. We have all the 6 Zechiras. Amalek, Maaseh Miriam, Shabbos, Sinai, Tzias Mitzrayim, and the Egel. That's the 6 things we have. Yeah, and I think I said all 6.
Yeah.
He said, asked the Rishonim, why don't we have any Zechira min HaTorah of the Pashas Egel? The Magen Avraham brings down the kasha. Why don't we remember Pashas Egel? And the Magen Avraham says maybe because we don't read bad things of Klal Yisrael to be ma'ira, Klal Yisrael and bad things they did. But Achronim say a different teretz on the Magen Avraham's kasha. They say, you know something? We are masked Pashas Egel. You know we are masked Pashas Egel? When we read Pashas Parah in the Torah, that's when we are masked Pashas Egel. Because Rav Moshe Adarshan said that the reason of Pashas Parah is to be mekhaper of Pashas Egel. But why do we say it in Surah of Pashas Parah? Because that's the point what we're talking about. If we would say it in Pashas Egel, we would defeat the purpose. The purpose of Parah is to forget about the Egel and remember the Tikkun. Don't give us any Schwachkeiten. Don't let us fall again remembering our sins. We have to understand to go further and to be only look at the good side of the picture and to know that we have koyach to go further to be mamshech. By Parah Aduma we find, and by the whole Avcheta Egel, we find such a chizuk for ourselves to know how to go further with Avodas Hashem. As we started off from Purim, that we saw that by Purim HaKadosh Baruch Hu already brought us to Yeshua. We find the more bigger thing by the same interesting thing by Egel also. Let's start off from one thing everybody knows. We have one day in year, the holiest day in year. What is that? Yom HaKippurim. How did that day come about? Everybody think into it once. How did that day come about? From Chet HaEgel. What happened? After Moshe Rabbeinu went up the second time, 40 days, he came back, and the 40th day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, Vayomer Hashem solachti kidvorecha. I forgave you kidvorecha. And that's why we remind that pasuk by the Lail of Yom Kippurim. That's where the whole tzibur screams 3 times together. Vayomer Hashem solachti kidvorecha. Why? Because that is the thing that brought about our holy day of Yom Kippur. That means, from the sin that we did, we got the day that the doires. That is the day that we're all going to get a kapora and be cleansed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because of what? Because of we sinned. That's what Klal Chazal say. Klal Yisrael weren't roi. They weren't really under such a dag of doing this avera. Why did they do the avera? Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring it to them? They should do the avera. The hoiro is tshiva l'rabim, only to show that Klal Yisrael is, even though they do avera, they could come under avera and do tshuva and come to madregas much more and more. We find more than that. How did the whole Mishkan come about? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, after he went away, after the Klal Yisrael went from Klal Yisrael, after HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, V'yem Hashem solachti kidvorecha, said HaKadosh Baruch Hu, make me a Mishkan, I shall be able to come back to you, and v'shulchanti b'soichem. That's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu came, that's how the whole Mishkan came about. We wouldn't have had a Mishkan if not the Egel. We find more than that. The Parah Aduma. The whole Parah Aduma of Tahara from Klal Yisrael, only all these three things, only because of the Egel. That means if we think into it, instead of thinking, we did Avera. What am I now? Gornished. I'm gornished, let's go free. I'm free now, that's it. I'm not going to be strong and I'm not going to be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu anymore anyway. Adarabbe v'adarabbe. The second you Chas v'sholem, somebody has a Avera, he has to know. That's the time when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling me, come, I'll be closer to you. I want you to be closer to me. And that's what we find by the Egel. What did it say? Who's the M and who's the B'no? That's the Egel and the Porah. What is it, the marshal to us in Klal Yisrael? We are the sons of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We did the Avera. Says Chazal, Tovay Em, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is going to come and wipe us off. What do you mean, HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is going to come? We did the Avera. We have to go to Tshuva to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us much more after we did the sin. As Chazal says, somebody made his doinus, he made a Avera bezodoin. B'mezid, if he does Tshuva Ma'avas, doinus nasviyas kezuchos. Why is nasviyas kezuchos? Because that's when he becomes closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The bigger the sin is, if he'll do Tshuva and he'll come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be closer to him. As the Vakantam Mashal that Svarim say, if we're tied to a string, to Klal Yisrael, that's how we are holding in with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our string is the Torah, our string is a lot of things that connect us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you have a string, I'm holding a string and that one over there is holding a string, and somebody cuts it in the middle. If I want to connect the string again, then I have to move the stender over and come a little closer because the string got a little smaller because they got cut and I had to make a knot. And the knot made the string a little smaller. That means I came closer to the person holding the string at the other end. Every time the string gets cut and we want to tie a knot to make the string strong again, that means we're getting closer to the other end. The other end is HaKadosh Baruch Hu holding the string. That's what Chazal say. By Purim they say, "V'nosati lechu nes lehis noises." I'm giving you a nes lehis noises. What does that mean? And Pashtus it means I'm giving you a nes to be nes noises to show me to celebrate the Nisan. That's what the Pashtus means. But Svarim say, "V'nosati lechu nes lehis noises." A nes is loshen from Nisoyan. A lot of times HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you a Nisoyan. You know why He gives you a Nisoyan? You know why He gives you a place to fall? Because He wants you to come a little closer to Him. He wants you closer. As Chazal say, Pasuk says in Tehillim, Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'kom. A way to become a tzaddik, how does it go? You have to fall. That's the way. Because if you won't fall, you won't come closer. You'll stay in your dargah. Why we can't understand the Mahalach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, why He did it in such a way. But that's what the way we know, that's what it is, that's what the Pasuk says, and that's what we know. That's the way to come close to Klal Yisrael. If we Chas v'Sholem fall, we shouldn't look at it, but, I'll do tshuva, but, I fell. No, Adarabbe, that's the way. If you fell, that means now you have a choice and you have a way to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You'll get closer and being closer, you're such a closeness that you never felt before. If we're speaking about this thing in such a time, we know we're standing now before Ben Azman. Yeshiva's Dom, I believe, is not the same as is usually like in the middle of the Zman. It should be that way, but, the world, Welt is Welt, they say in Yiddish. It's anders. People, the Zman is not so strong now. Soon Ben Azmanim is coming. There's all kind of different times that the Sot knows that it's a little schwach now. He finds his times to gives you a little avei over here, to get a plate over here, to go places where you're not supposed to go, to do whatever you want, even though Chaz v'Sholem you didn't fall into any big aveiros. But he knows right afterwards you got a plate or you didn't come or you spoke the Chveisvus, he knows right afterwards you'll feel bad and right afterwards he'll be able to get you further. That's the time, this Ben Azmanim, in this time when the Zman is not so strong, it's a beginnis, the Rafi Yedem and Divrei Torah we started off. So that's the time when the Satan Amodei comes back again. That's the time when we have to know that this is the time that will show Kimimenu Nikach, will come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We won't let you, not only we won't fall, we'll come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and feel how much closer Hashkoyach for giving me the Bein Azmanim. Hashkoyach for falling. After we'll come back in here and Hashem will say, Psh, the whole Zman was garnished according to Bein Azmanim. Because Bein Azmanim we got such a kill with HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we couldn't get it. How good the Rosh Hashiva is, the Sultan is much better. It can't be. The Sultan gave us a way to be closer. And nefila doesn't mean you fall. You fell, and that's it. It means you're coming closer. As the Pasuk says, we'll finish up with this and one little story. The Pasuk says, in Bereshis, right in the beginning of the first Averes, that what happened in the world were Cain and Hevel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Hevel, told Cain, Cain, Lama chorolach, lama nafli ponecho. Why are you so angry? Why is your face down in the earth? Why are you looking down for? Why are you so arugefallen at yourself? Im teitiv, if you'll be good, say, I'll take you back. Im loi, if you won't be good, la pesach hatus roivetz. What did that mean? A lot of push and push it. Well, we'll take it according to Abshat and we'll be mad because it's later. Im, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, as I says, this Sipona, a Sipona, I'll read the Lashon, if any of them are close Gedolos finish over here.
There's already there. Up, black, so much.
The Sipona, the Moedige Sipona, the back here. Yeah, he has Sipona over here.